It's a fabulous stadium, once known as the Stadio Sao Paulo, a real bowl of a stadium. And Carlos Del Cerro Grande, the Spanish referee, leading the players out, both in their first choice colours. Napoli in their blue tops, white shorts, Liverpool in all red. And Alisson and Mo Salah getting ready to renew acquaintances with their former manager Luciano Spalletti, who coached both of them at Roma. Indeed, Spalletti sold Alisson to Liverpool from Roma as the famous old theme rings around the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Phone lights all visible all around the bowl as people look to capture this moment prior to kick-off. A reminder of the team news: Liverpool have made 3 changes from that Merseyside derby goalless draw. Robertson, Milner and Firmino in. Out go Tsimikas to the bench and Nunez to the bench. Carvalho has not travelled. So it's Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk and Robertson in the back 4. Elliott, Fabinho and Milner in midfield. Firmino, Salah and Diaz the front 3. And as for Napoli, 2 changes from their win against Lazio. A very calm hug from Jurgen Klopp, incidentally, on Spalletti, who's not wearing a sling after his training ground accident yesterday, but I think he's warned Jurgen Klopp, don't give me a bear hug. Yeah,
he's wearing a crutch, I mean, by the looks of it, so he's got a bit of a limp, and Jurgen Klopp just a bit tentative there. He's had a little embrace.
The lineup for Napoli: Alex Meret is their goalkeeper. Back 4 of Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Amir Rahmani, Kim Min-jae and Matthias Oliveira. 2 in front of that back 4, Stanislav Lobotka and Andre Frank Anguissa, who TalkSport 2 listeners will surely remember from playing in Fulham's midfield not so long ago. Matteo Politano, Piotr Zielinski and Kavica Kvaratskhelia are the attacking 3 midfielders in behind Victor Osimhen up front. And as for the substitutes bench, well, a full complement of substitutes for Napoli: Sirigu, the sub-keeper, Juan Jesus, Mario Rui, Elmas, Lozano, Simeone, son of Diego Simeone, that is Giovanni Simeone, Zerbin, Ostigard, Zanoli, Gaetano, Raspadori and Tanguy Ndombele once of Spurs. But Liverpool have 2 less substitutes than that. Adrian and Davies, 2 keepers on the bench. Thiago is back fit again. Diogo Jota, Tsimikas, Nunez, Artur freshly arrived on loan from Juve, Matip, Bajcetic and Phillips make up the rest of the Liverpool bench. So it's 4-3-3 against 4-2-3-1. Liverpool finalists in 3 of the last 5 seasons. They've not missed the knockout stages of the tournament since 2016-17. But after some indifferent results in the Premier League, some extraordinary ones as well, the 9-0 against Bournemouth stands out. An early fast start, maybe from both sides here, David Connolly, for different reasons.
And if you recall last season, they won all 6 group games, the first English side to do so. So, but this is a different Liverpool team, right? And it's a different Napoli side, although they're really confident despite all the players that have left the football club. Just looking at the kickoff, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Napoli have got 7 players on the halfway line. I haven't seen that.
No, they are ready to sprint full tilt into the Liverpool half as it's worked back from the kickoff to Amir Rahmani, and we are underway on TalkSport 2 for our second Champions League game of the evening. Remember, Tottenham Marseille just getting underway over on TalkSport with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce alongside Adrian Durham. But here on 2, it's all about Napoli against Liverpool. Ball headed forward but controlled at the back for Napoli, and Rahmani just nicks it infield, and Lobotka plays a neat 1-2 wall pass. Anguissa calling for it, but it's worked out instead to Giovanni Di Lorenzo on halfway. Ball to the middle, Osimhen's after it. Alisson's out of his goal. Osimhen from a tight angle hits the outside of the post and goes behind. And within a minute, Napoli hit the post after Osimhen played in behind the Liverpool back line, rounded Alisson, but the angle ended up being too tight for the Nigerian. 0-0.
He's onside as well. It's very close. What a terrific touch. Takes it past Alisson right on the edge of the box. He had to be careful there, Alisson. Any sort of contact, Osimhen would go down. He didn't. As you say, acute angle, hits the base of the post. Great start from Napoli.
Now Anguissa showing great strength to hold on to the ball just inside the Liverpool half. A minute gone, 0-0, but Napoli already very much on the front foot.
Well, we were discussing this with Aid, and I mentioned about Napoli, their set-piece prowess, and You know, they always try the variation, great delivery, but always something different, you know. And look at the kickoff. I've never seen 7-8 players on the halfway line. That just shows you these are such a really well-prepared team under Spalletti. You wouldn't expect anything less, but they're always trying something different.
A real statement of intent right from the get-go from Napoli, but it's 0-0. But they've had that early scare of Liverpool with Osimhen striking the outside of the post, almost from the dead ball line by the time he'd taken the ball around Alisson, the right-hand corner of the box, and got to the ball. Van Dijk squares it infield for Joe Gomez. Along the deck for Harvey Elliott, who under pressure from Lobotka gives the ball back to Joe Gomez on halfway. Alexander-Arnold waits and receives. Put the ball forward, but got under the feet of Firmino. And Napoli have it back and just touched down by Zielinski. And there's Osimhen on his way through the middle again, and out comes Alisson to head the ball clear 25 yards from his own goal line. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real handful. We're touching on that in the build-up as well, Osimhen. I mean, Van Dijk got done again in behind. They've got to be careful with this high line because Napoli done their homework. Whenever it's on, ball in the middle third, they're just spinning it over the top, and invariably Liverpool look a little bit there, often 1v1 at the back.
Ball pinged up to the halfway line by Napoli, but came straight back to their goalkeeper Alex Merritt, who joined from Udinese a few years ago. He was initially rotated here with David Ospina, the former Arsenal keeper, but has made the number 1 jersey his own.
Well, different sort of setup if you look at, say, Napoli now, you know, contrast that with, say, Man United. I know when they played Liverpool, didn't really risk playing out from the back, went direct, played off second balls. Napoli here really confident, get the ball out of the back, building through the thirds.
They're knocking the ball around beautifully in these early stages, and now they're trying to release Kvaratskhelia down the left-hand side. The Georgian has Gomez backpedaling, pulls it back to the edge of the area, and it's just put wide. Zielinski had it at the edge of the area, fed by Kvaratskhelia. And it might be a corner kick to Napoli in the end, but once again they go desperately close in these early stages.
Yeah, and they're onside. I mean, they're getting in behind for fun. They're timing the runs really well. Kvaratskhelia, you've got to try and force him down the line. Joe Gomez doesn't. He's a right footer playing on the left, allows him infield, sets it to Zielinski. You try to just side foot this, bend this in at the far corner. Just took a little nick off James Milner.
Did it come off the hand? I mean, VAR has taken a look, and they've given the penalty.
Yeah.
Napoli have been given a penalty because the shot from Piotr Zielinski struck the hand of James Milner. It was slightly away from his body. The ball was close to his arm when it hit him. I'm not sure, but it's classed as deliberate handball, David Connolly. Yeah. And Napoli have got a penalty.
Yeah, he was almost bending down. He had one knee bent, and just as he was sort of crouching down, his left arm was still a little bit high, and by the time he tried to bring it down, it already hit it, and it was certainly a handball.
Well, Zielinski had the shot that was handled by James Milner, and Zielinski will take the responsibility, the Polish midfielder, from the penalty spot. We're yet to reach the 5-minute mark. Alisson waits on his goal line. Spalletti on the touchline looking at the ground. It's Zielinski against Alisson for Napoli, and he sent him the wrong way, and Napoli lead early in the Diego Maradona Stadium, and Liverpool bang under pressure already in the Champions League. Napoli 1, Liverpool 0.
Yeah, well, Alisson won't get his 17th European clean sheet. We were talking about that at the start as well. To tie level with Jersey. I mean, they've started so well here, Napoli. Fantastic, raucous atmosphere, but, you know, they've built their play through the thirds and created chances for fun. Could have had maybe 2 goals by now. As it is, they got their chance from the spot, maybe a little bit lucky, but you can certainly say it was ball to hand. It did hit his hand. It was a little bit outstretched from his body. James Milner, although maybe when the shot was taken, it was a couple of yards away. It's hard because I'm not really sure he could do that much about it. It looked like he tried to bring it back towards him as it is. Zielinski tucked the ball away really well.
One of the longest serving players at Napoli, Piotr Zielinski, the Polish international, who joined from Udinese 6 years ago, has given Napoli, based on this opening 5 minutes, a fully deserved early goal. Liverpool have got work to do, but they do have Luis Diaz in possession just inside the Napoli penalty area, trying to send it across. It's blocked behind for a Liverpool corner as the Red Men try to respond on TalkSport 2.
Well, we saw this PSG game as well, didn't we? An early goal in Mbappe, first few minutes, and it can really sort of set the tempo for the rest of the game here. Can Liverpool do? Can they respond?
going to be a right-footed in-swinging corner from Trent Alexander-Arnold. On the near side of the field to us, Milner inside the 6-yard box, the Liverpool captain. Goes in towards Van Dijk. He can't get ahead on the edge of the 6-yard box. Napoli trying to get it clear. Lobotka nods it downfield. Osimhen, a lovely touch on his chest, and tries to burst away from Gomez. Now Kvaratskhelia down the left-hand side. Zielinski going like an express train through the middle. Kvaratskhelia up against Andy Robertson, playing in a right-back position. Roll back to Anguissa at the edge of the area, and the shot deflects off two Liverpool players and ricochets away to the halfway line. Napoli 1, Liverpool 0.
I tell you what, they are so good. Osimhen is just, he's got a little bit of everything, as we were talking about pre-game as well. He's quick, he's strong, carries the ball up the pitch, and Kvaratskhelia is a real handful, very confident, a real trickster. But I tell you what, if he had a left foot, he would have put the ball in early there, because Zielinski made a fantastic run, caught up with play, and he was on. Just a straight ball in the box, but Kvaratskhelia is predominantly right foot, just couldn't get his left foot on it.
What did you say they called him? Kvaradonna?
Kvaradonna, yeah, apparently.
Fantastic. It doesn't take long for the nicknames to kick in, does it?
Well, especially when he gets off to such a good start.
Yes, Kvaratskhelia scored 4 in his first 5 for Napoli, having come from Rubin Kazan, the Georgian. But here come Liverpool trying to respond. They're a goal down here, Liverpool. Firmino crowded out at the edge of the area, so turns away. Elliott left-hand side of the box, plays it to the far stick. Salah can't keep it in play, and the offside flag goes up anyway. It's a free kick to Napoli, who lead Liverpool by 1-0 with 8 minutes gone on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, they're saying that though, they're 1-0 down, but they have had a couple of penalty area entries, which is good immediately, Liverpool. I mean, Harvey Elliott's got to work harder to get back onside. He doesn't, so he was offside, and the ball in was disappointing anyway. Far too far in front of Mo Salah, which, he's not really going to score from service like that.
Ball played out and whacked downfield by Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Politano tried to help it on. It's gone out of play for a throw.
What they're doing as well, Ian, because they're playing out from the back, they're really stretching the pitch. And Liverpool are not ones that are just going to sit off and, be a wall and go on, then go and break us down. They're going to try and press you high, and it just means there's a lot of space in the middle of the park for Napoli. And, what would you say on the pitch? It looks a little bit bobbly, difficult, I think, to pass the ball on, but Napoli have settled down and obviously playing it sort of most weeks, but Liverpool don't look quite as comfortable as Napoli when they're passing it on the pitch.
And Anguissa always cleaned out there by Milner as he knocked the ball forward. It's going to be a yellow card for James Milner. Not a good start for the Liverpool veteran. Gave away a penalty and now yellow card for a challenge, a strong challenge on the former Fulham man. 1-0 Napoli, and they have a free kick.
Yeah, he's just got to keep his head here. There's another little replay of the shot, because as he was going down to block the shot, he had one knee on the floor, just about, he's nearly on the grass, and his sort of left arm was coming down to meet his knee, but as it was, Zielinski shot and it did hit his hand. It was a tough one, but you've got to say it's probably the right call.
1-0 to Napoli. We've played nearly 10 minutes on TalkSport 2. Ian Dancer and David Connolly watching on from our London studios here for this Champions League tie, match day 1. Earlier in this group, it finished 4-0 to Ajax against Rangers in Amsterdam.
Well, what Liverpool fans will be thinking now as well, selecting James Milner. It'll be the same old, because obviously conceding a penalty, he's been booked, but still a long way to go in this game.
Free kick to Liverpool in the centre of the Napoli half. Elliott floats it out to Salah, brings it down right-hand side of the box, tried to get a shot in, but it was blocked away by Kim, and Fabinho keeps the ball in play very well on the right-hand side, but knocking it infield, just saw Kim there again to nod it clear for Napoli up to Alexander-Arnold, who collects it on halfway, tries to send it down the Liverpool right, looking for Salah, but again it's cleared up to halfway. Osimhen can't get a piece of it this time, the Napoli striker, and the ball's back with Andrew Robertson. 1-0 Napoli.
Yeah, I mean, they've settled down a little bit, haven't they, Liverpool? But, this high-pressing style from Napoli, you can see him done.
Yeah, Politano closing down Alexander-Arnold there, now closing down Alisson, hassling and harrying Liverpool into every pass.
Yeah, and absolutely, and that means the game is going to be really stretched. So, as much as Napoli like that, Liverpool, once they settle down as well, they'll find the spaces too.
Robertson collects a crossfield pass from James Milner, flicks it infield to Firmino. It's gone very, very deep, midway point of his own half. gives it back to Robertson. Now Van Dijk.
Well, we saw Messi do that yesterday, drop really. They like to get involved in the game, don't they? Those sorts of players don't mind linking it, dropping deep.
Lovely crossfield pass from Van Dijk to pick out Salah, but the Liverpool move breaks down, and Kim works it back to Merritt, the goalkeeper. First time clearance with his left foot is comfortable for Gomez to head down to Elliott. Elliott under a bit of pressure.
What a pass.
Kvaratskhelia just drills it across to Robertson.
Brilliant. I mean, you have to put real pace on that. Once you make a pass sort of square across the pitch like that, you can't go side foot, it might get cut out. So he drilled it with his laces.
Meantime, a crossfield pass intended for Salah from Milner is overhit.
Well, it just tells you as well, Dan, about what Spalletti said, the number of throw-ins. And that is because we said as well, what the game will be like. Liverpool love to switch the play. You switch the play, you get your one-on-ones, but, if there's a sort of challenge, whatever, goes out for a throw already. Well, we've had a lot of throws already. I mean, Napoli are prepared for that.
That's good coaching, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just
that's
simple coaching.
Absolutely.
The marginals, as they say. Little incidental things that can make a difference.
And also that he referenced that in terms of their own game against Lazio. The difference with a different style, right? Different leagues, different style, different sort of ways that people play, and obviously his team are really well prepared here in terms of how to face Liverpool, what they're going to face. But they started on the front, but we saw that from the kick-off, and credit to them, they got their goal. 13
minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Napoli 1, Liverpool 0. And there's Anguissa darting down the left-hand side of the box. Osimhen wants it pulled back. Anguissa floats it to the far post. Politano heads it across goal. And somehow Van Dijk got it half clear, but not completely clear. Lobotka picks up the loose ball. Vital footing from Alexander-Arnold. Otherwise, Kvaratskhelia could have been in behind left-hand side of the box. Now here come Liverpool on the counter-attack. Firmino feeds Robertson, who's piling forward. Flicks it to Luis Diaz, left-hand corner of the box. Has to hold it up for a moment. Gives it back to Milner. Milner, lovely reverse ball down the left-hand side of the box for Robertson, who wins a corner off Rahmani. And the ball goes from one end of the field to the other in short order. 1-0 Napoli.
This is going to be a great game, because it is so open. Napoli are not going to cede to anyone, and obviously, full-blooded on the counter. They attack, ball breaks, and there's Liverpool using all those open spaces, and they've got another corner. So there's going to be more goals in this game, I think.
Well, the last corner from this side was a right-footed in-swinger from Alexander-Arnold. It's Robertson with this corner, swinging away from goal. A punch half clear from Merritt, and then they finally do clear it fully, and it's Politano makes a bit of a mess of hooking the ball towards the halfway line. It goes out of play for a Liverpool throw.
I tell you what, Anguissa did well there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I liked watching him lose at Fulham.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had one particular game in Project Restart, I think he was at Leicester, where he was absolutely outstanding.
I mean, him and Lobotka, a lot of people might not know too much about Lobotka, but, he's really coveted. He was at Nordsjælland, and a lot of clubs in England were looking at him. Celta Vigo took the sort of plunge, and he did really well there, and Napoli signed him from Celta. But he's a really good foil for Anguissa midfield. He's a real dog in there, works really hard, good with the ball, strong runner. Here he is.
Now Elliott trying to be closed down by Lobotka, and he'll have it now, the Slovakian, and finds Anguissa, his midfield partner, in the centre circle. Immediately looks to release Osimhen in behind Van Dijk. Osimhen collides with Van Dijk. They both go to ground. Theatrical fall from Osimhen. Referee wants nothing to do with it, and we play on with Napoli 1-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, Osimhen's rolling on the ground. He thinks there was a bit of a foul here. Great play, wasn't it? Lobotka into Anguissa, spots the runner, Osimhen. There's Liverpool on the attack, and it's a terrific run in behind. He is on the last man the whole time, Osimhen, and he is a quick, powerful runner. He's kind of, I don't know how we do it, a sort of Haaland type where he plays on the last man, quite strong, quick, always looking to dart in behind and be that focal point in the middle of the pitch. Doesn't spend too much time sort of working out on the flanks.
Yeah. Well, he's stayed down. VAR are checking for a potential penalty, and in actual fact the Spanish referee has been asked to go to look at the pitch side monitor for this clash between Van Dijk and Osimhen in the penalty area, because the VAR in Lyon think this deserves another look.
Well, the pass from Anguissa into Osimhen, he made a diagonal run from the right hand side of the pitch to the left. He's not particularly great on his left foot, so try to chop back inside Virgil van Dijk, who is on his inside. He does that with his right foot, and as he tries to come in field, does Van Dijk stand on his foot?
Well, that's the still image that we're suddenly looking at. That's what the referee's also looking at. A tread on the foot by Van Dijk on Osimhen. Was it enough to bring him down? Well, it certainly trod on the right foot of Victor Osimhen. Osimhen got there first and flicked the ball away from Van Dijk.
I think this will be given as a penalty.
Well, he's having a
I don't think he would have got the ball, because it was a bit of a heavy touch and it went into Alisson. But the point is, was that a foul? Was there contact on Osimhen's boot? I think there was.
He turns, the referee, he looks. What's he going to give? He's not done the VAR sign. Now he has. Penalty awarded. A second penalty inside 20 minutes for Napoli. And after the handball for Milner, punished by Zielinski, this time it's Van Dijk for the challenge on Osimhen. And a second penalty to the Neapolitans in short order.
Yeah, I mean, people now maybe look at Virgil van Dijk here. Was it a little bit clumsy, and reckless? He went in a bit quick. He just needed to maybe stay on his toes. But he knew if he didn't get tied to Osimhen, he was going to run away from him. He is that quick. As it is, it's a different taker now.
Yeah. Osimhen, having been brought down, he's going to take the penalty. Zielinski scored with the early penalty, but now the Nigerian Victor Osimhen, he has the chance to double Napoli's lead against Liverpool inside 20 minutes. Whistle goes from the Spanish referee. Osimhen, slow run up to the ball, and he hits it against Alisson, who saves, but he's driven over the bar on the follow-up. Big chance for Di Lorenzo, and Alisson saves Liverpool from going 2-0 down in Naples.
Yeah, really, really good save. This could be a massive moment in this tie. He stood up, very slow run up from Osimhen. He didn't look convincing, I've got to say. He had that slow, sort of like Ivan Toney technique run up. And then he waited to the very last moment. Alisson didn't go, stood on his line, just waited and waited, guessed correctly, and it's a really good save. But I don't know if it came off the post, but it was difficult to see, but good save from Alisson.
It stays 1-0 only to Napoli. Liverpool have had a scare, but they've not conceded a second. Milner, whose handball led to the goal. So from Zielinski's penny for his thoughts, having not taken the second spot kick. Salah, in the meantime, trying to get away from Oliveira down the Liverpool right. Oliveira slides it and puts it out for a throw. Barcelona leader Victoria Plzeňa.
I mean,
Frank Kessie with the goal for Barca. 1-0 Napoli here.
I used to have this with my sort of under-11 team, where whoever won the penalty took it. Right. Surely Napoli don't have that rule as well today, because Zielinski won it and he took it. I mean, Osimhen won that one and took it. Surely not.
Wow.
It's strange, isn't it? Because you'd imagine Zielinski would take it, but...
And there was a chance for Di Lorenzo on the follow-up, wasn't there? When the ball came out to him, it was a bit wild with the right-footed effort. Admittedly, the angle was tight after Alisson's save. But my Liverpool are under pressure here in Italy, and they've given the ball away again. Firmino this time guilty. Kvaratskhelia bringing the ball away. Osimhen trying to stay onside. He knows he's not offside, but Kvaratskhelia rides 4 challenges and then feeds the ball out to Politano on this near side, the Napoli right. Getting to the right-hand corner of the box. The cross to the far post is gathered by Alisson. Yeah. But this young Georgian, Kvaratskhelia, with a lovely bit of skill to set Napoli forward again.
Yeah, class, absolutely class, because he could have put Osimhen in again, but Liverpool held their line. He was offside, so he stayed on the ball. He had to do a little bit of jinking and a little drop of the shoulder, a couple of feints to get away. Oh, man, he looks class.
Incidentally, Virgil van Dijk was booked after that penalty was given by VAR for the challenge on Osimhen. But it remains just 1-0 to Napoli on TalkSport 2. 20 minutes played in the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Down goes Fabinho, fouled by Anguissa. Free kick, says the referee. And an indignant look on Fabinho's face after he was caught. Chance for Liverpool to work the ball into the box here.
I mean, one thing they know, Liverpool, is they're not really going to have that much time on the ball. You can see whenever anyone gets it, Firmino was robbed of possession. Took that fraction too long on the ball. Could have released it to Harvey Elliott a moment ago. There's another look at the penalty save. It didn't come off. Thought he might have pushed it onto the post, but no, it just... So he came off his arm.
He pushed it away from where he was diving.
But it went back
to
the
his
opposite way.
It went back to the left.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, Di Lorenzo couldn't follow up from a tight angle. So Liverpool have a free kick, which they're going to try and just lift into the penalty area here. Robertson and Alexander Arnold standing over it.
Really deep line from Napoli, almost
Very
on the
deep
6-yard
line.
box.
And Alexander Arnold goes for goal, and it just clips the roof of the net on its way over. No touch for the keeper. It's a goal kick. Midway point of the first half, and Liverpool know they're in for a tricky night in southern Italy. Napoli 1, Liverpool 0.
I think it's a bad ball in from Trent, because, you know, that deep line from Napoli, you've just got to put that on the 6-yard box, or, you know, just a yard inside it. You can't be putting it over the bar from there. I mean, he's won a corner, but
it actually did
nonetheless.
take a touch indeed. I'm not sure that the touch came from a keeper, but it's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from Andrew Robertson over on the far side of the field for Liverpool. Swung in with pace, headed out by Osimhen, and Kvaratskhelia given away to Harvey Elliott, but he runs into Anguissa, who's conceded another corner on Liverpool's right-hand side. 22 gone, 1-0 Napoli. Just a bit lax there from Kvaratskhelia on that occasion.
Yeah.
So let's see what Liverpool can do from this corner. It'll be Robertson once again. He's got Harvey Elliott just near to him, but he whips it into the near post. Punched away by Merritt when he could so easily have caught it. Alexander Arnold puts it into the box. Salah couldn't control it. Oh boy, oh boy. Ball over the top. Had Salah in behind. I'm not sure whether the offside flag would have gone up to deny him. He was onside as the ball was floated across, and he couldn't control it, and the ball bobbled behind for a Napoli goal kick.
Oh, I just completely misjudged it. Misjudged the flight of the ball. It was a fantastic pass back in from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Napoli, no one had picked Salah up. The sort of difference is he was on the left-hand side of the pitch. Normally he's on the right, and he sort of seemed like he was just not used to controlling it in that way. The ball coming across his body, and just took his eye off it.
1-0 to Napoli, 23 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2. We've got Europa League football for you tomorrow night. FC Zurich against Arsenal, that's on TalkSport. 5:30 our coverage gets underway, and that's Alex Cook and Dean Ashton. We've got the Racing League for you live here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night. So Arsenal are over on TalkSport in the Europa League. Liverpool coming forward with Andrew Robertson into the edge of the area. Luis Diaz trying to hold it up, gets away from a couple of challenges, breaks for Alexander Arnold, who shoots for goal, but the whistle had gone for a foul by Diaz on the midfielder Lobotka, and it'll be a free kick to Napoli at the edge of their own penalty area. 1-0 they lead.
Well, that is Lobotka doing what he does best. You know, he's just fractionally, the touch was just marginally away from Diaz there, and it just allowed Lobotka to seize onto it. And a couple of times Liverpool in around the box, you know, their passage of play haven't quite been tight enough. Touch has gone away, or a miscontrol here. Those little bits of detail that really count in and around the box just have been lacking so far.
That's David Connolly, former Republic of Ireland, Wolves, Portsmouth and Sunderland striker, alongside me Ian Danter here on TalkSport 2. 24 minutes played, Napoli 1, Liverpool 0. A Zielinski penalty early in the piece, and Osimhen, who's missed the second penalty, is now caught offside. Liverpool have a free kick. We've got a terrific game for you on Friday night in the Championship. We have the EFL show, always a good listen, from 6 o'clock, previewing all the weekend's action. And then how about this, Burnley against Norwich from Turf Moor with Mark Wilson and Charlie Adam straight after the EFL show.
Well, Osimhen there, just you can see how bright and intelligent he is. He made another good run in behind, but it was actually the pass to him, and then he just motioned, you know, he just put his two fingers like doing the spinning circle like a hamster wheel, you know, indicating I want the ball quicker, you know, and that's a signal to your teammate, give it to me quicker. And he makes really good runs. Bayern
Munich have just taken the lead against Inter Milan elsewhere in Italy tonight. Leroy Sané making it Inter 0, Bayern 1. Lovely turn from Lobotka to get away from Firmino inside his own half. Rolls it into the right back position, but Di Lorenzo is dispossessed by Luis Diaz. Good work from him. Now Robertson steaming forward. Infield to Firmino, 25 yards out. Across to Elliott, tries to clip it into the box for Salah, but there's enough blue shirts back to get it clear, but only half clear. Alexander Arnold picks it out the sky on the far side of the field, the Liverpool right. Now he gets it back from Fabinho. Can he keep it in play? Tight to the touchline, he can. Puts a deep looping cross to the back post. Diaz won't get there, but it comes out to Robertson, left-hand corner of the box. Elliott now, 30 yards out, squares it to his right for Fabinho. Back out to the right wing, and Alexander Arnold. Left-footed cross, it's helped on by Firmino, but will just bounce a couple of times and go behind. Has that been given as a corner kick?
Yeah, I think so.
It has. 26 gone, 1-0 to Napoli.
Yeah, it's a bit better from Liverpool.
So another corner kick, and Alexander-Arnold is going to go back and hit a right-footed in-swinging corner kick after the last couple of outswingers from Andrew Robertson. The locals loving it. They have the lead courtesy of that Zielinski penalty early in the piece. 5 minutes have gone. Here comes Alexander Arnold to the near post, and it's cleared away. I think it's Rahmani that had a strong header out the box. It's almost back on the halfway line, but Liverpool keep possession. Alexander-Arnold, another ball drifting into the box on the right-hand side, only half clear. Then Anguissa wings it back and releases Matteo Politano, who gets up towards the halfway line, being tracked by Milner. Then tries to drill it down the right-hand side, looking for Osimhen. Oh, Osimhen's taken it away from Gomez, and into the box. Victor Osimhen squares it across. What a goal line clearance, Van Dijk to deny Kvaratskhelia, giving Napoli a second. Unselfish from Osimhen. You thought he was going to pull the trigger, squared it for his teammate, but Van Dijk on the goal line somehow smuggled it behind. Stays 1-0 Napoli.
Well, it's outstanding defending from Van Dijk, who helps out his centre-back teammate, because Joe Gomez, I don't know what he is trying to do here, trying to be too clever with a centre-forward like Osimhen. He must realise by now this is a top player. He tries to be clever and bring the ball out from the back. Osimhen wins it off him, drives straight at Alisson. He could go for goal easily. I think he probably would have scored if he had done. Cut it back to Kvaratskhelia, but what a goal line clearance for Van Dijk.
Short corner, Politano for Napoli. Left-footed ball into the box. It's headed out to the edge of the area. Kvaratskhelia gets right underneath the volley, and it goes way over the crossbar. Liverpool goal kick. But my word, how Liverpool are being tested here in Italy. Napoli 1, Liverpool 0.
If you look at where this goal comes from, Ian, it starts with Liverpool's corner 4. The ball is clear, it breaks to Harvey Elliott, heavy touch. He goes backwards to Gomez. He has an okay pass out to Salah. Ball comes back in the box, drops to Trent Alexander-Arnold, heavy touch. Ball is broken. You know, it's all these little errors that are happening all over the pitch. It ends with Joe Gomez at the back. You know, wrong decision to try and bring it out. And it's those little bits of detail that can be the difference in these games.
And now Salah can't keep the ball in play on the far right-hand side of the field under pressure from Oliveira. We're with Liverpool again Saturday afternoon on TalkSport 2 as part of Game Day. We've got the first Chelsea game post-Tuchel. That's on TalkSport at Fulham in the London derby Saturday lunchtime with Reshmin and the team at Craven Cottage. And then I'll be with Perry Groves at Anfield. Liverpool taking on Wolves in a 3 o'clock kickoff. That's our exclusive 3 o'clock Premier League game for you on Saturday afternoon.
Too casual, Ian. This is what I've picked up from Liverpool so far at times. Too casual at the back. You know, maybe I'm sure they'll have the respect. Well, they'll know. They'll be respectful of Napoli now, but it's almost a little bit too late. It's like they haven't done their homework. You know, certainly Spalletti has, but it's almost, you know, Gomez and Van Dijk and maybe the rest of the players had a handle in the ball, a little bit too casual, confident maybe.
Here's Luis Diaz dropping deep into his own half. Fires the ball into the Napoli half. Milner tight to the left-hand touchline, plays it all the way across to Alexander-Arnold. A lovely little cushion ball down for Elliott. Now Elliott's got it back right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold fires the ball into Salah, turns, shoots, and straight to the goalkeeper. That was a decent move from Liverpool. Stays 1-0 to Napoli though.
Outstanding pass from Trent here. Alexander-Arnold into the feet of Mo Salah. Just gets free of Lobotka. Lobotka's just trying to screen that pass into the front, so the likes of Salah and Firmino can't receive it, but Salah does. And as you say, as he swiveled and shot, he was straight at the goalkeeper, not in either corner.
That's the best chance Liverpool have created in this opening half hour on TalkSport 2, where it remains Napoli 1, Liverpool 0. A penalty from Zielinski. Again Gomez under pressure from Kvaratskhelia, who gets away down the left-hand side. Osimhen the only player in the box. Kvaratskhelia still has it, trying to wriggle away from Gomez, who's now back standing his ground. Anguissa takes over, left-hand corner of the box, plays a 1-2, lovely control, Anguissa! 2-0 Napoli! Liverpool sliced the pot again, Lax at the back, Gomez dispossessed initially. They didn't get themselves back, didn't get themselves set, and a lovely ball setting up the former Fulham man, Andre Frank Anguissa, and a clinical finish under Alisson. Half an hour gone. It's Napoli 2, Liverpool 0.
Well, we just spoke a minute ago about how casual Joe Gomez was. Here he is again, taking far too long in possession up against Kvaratskhelia, who, as we've spoken about so often, even in the build-up, what a top talent he is, steals the ball off him, and he could have actually broken in the box, sent it back to Anguissa, plays a little give and go. I mean, Fabinho, he's just played around like he's not there, doesn't track the runner whatsoever, he slots it just at the near post past Alisson, takes a little nick off the inside of the post, finished really well from Anguissa, but I mean, you could pick holes in about 3 or 4 players there in terms of that goal going in. Gomez too casual, the 1-2, no one follows the run. I mean, I think Fabinho's got to see Anguissa coming in, he doesn't, and he's got all the time in the world. Anguissa just about 7 yards out just to slot that past Alisson.
The quality of the return pass from Zielinski for Anguissa, magnificent. Here he is again, Zielinski trying to release Kvaratskhelia, but he's overhit the pass. Just a bit of adrenaline coursing through the veins there of the Polish international, but my word, how Napoli's tails are up.
Yeah, what they need now, you know, if you're a Napoli fan, like PSG yesterday, 2-0 up, can you get a third before half-time? The game is done, because second half, you go back to yesterday's game, Juve get a goal, it's a little bit different. Can they get a third here, Napoli, and just maybe put this game to bed?
Luis Diaz trying to work the ball in field to Firmino. It's cleared away by Napoli, and then Diaz is fouled as he won the ball back. And a chance again for Liverpool to float the ball into the Napoli box from the left-hand side, midway point of the Napoli half. It's 2-0 to the Italians here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, I think Jurgen Klopp will be fuming. When you watch him on the bench, obviously he is vocal and as animated as they come. He will be absolutely raging. I mean, we heard Thomas Tuchel yesterday, weren't we, talking about, you know, and how angry he was. Can you imagine how angry Klopp will be in the dressing room at half-time?
Gomez will be at the eye of the storm, I fear. In it comes from Alexander-Arnold, headed down by Van Dijk, pushed away from the far post by the goalkeeper Meret. But Liverpool still have the ball out on the right-hand side. Firmino tried to be clever and flicked the ball around Oliveira with the outside of his boot, and Oliveira is wise to it, plays it off Firmino and wins a throw for Napoli in their left-back position as Van Dijk goes close for Liverpool. Yeah,
he goes close because, as we said, with Trent's first free kick that he put over the bar, although it may have taken a little nick, you know, this time, because Napoli's line is so deep with a wide free kick, they're almost on top of their goalkeeper. So just put it in around the 6-yard box, you know, give your defenders and your players up there a chance to get ahead on goal, and that's what he does there, Trent. Much better ball.
David Conley alongside me, Ian Dancer on commentary here on TalkSport 2 this Wednesday evening. Liverpool up against it, and then some. It's 2-0 to Napoli, and you can't really argue with that scoreline, can you, David?
No, unless it could be 3 or 4. That's the only thing you would say. I mean, they've had one cleared off the line, you know, by Van Dijk from Kvaratskhelia strike, and, you know, a couple of other chances, half
this
chances.
Penalty, yeah.
This penalty.
2-0 though it is. But just over 10 minutes to half-time on TalkSport 2. This is the same group as Ajax and Rangers. They met earlier, you heard it on TalkSport 2, and Rangers handed the same scoreline as Celtic got last night, 4-0 against the Dutch side. Liverpool in possession with Milner, onside, down the left-hand side of the area, cross to the far post, and Elliott tried to improvise an effort on goal with his left knee as the ball was just flicked towards him, but it went a yard wide of the right-hand post, and Napoli have a goal kick. Stays 2-0 to Napoli on TalkSport 2.
I think it took a little nick off Kim, didn't it, as the ball came in the box, entering a little nick off Kim. Harvey Elliott didn't anticipate the ball actually landing with him, and as you mentioned, tried to knee it, fly it towards goal, missed at the near post.
Okay, goal kick to Napoli on the left-hand side. Barcelona have doubled their lead against Victoria Plzeň through Robert Lewandowski, of course, in the Champions League. And Napoli, with their goalkeeper Alex Meret, just plays a very calm ball to Lobotka, who knows he's got 2 Liverpool players herring towards him.
He doesn't mind receiving it though.
No, he doesn't panic, does he?
No, and that's why he was, you know, really well sort of coveted and much coveted when he was at North Zealand.
Now Salah trying to lob the ball across the penalty area, right-hand side, but just ended up almost toe poking it through to the goalkeeper Meret.
You know who's at North Zealand with him was Matthias Jensen.
Who's now at Brentford, of course.
Yeah, and they both went to Celta Vigo, and the Bockers ended up at Napoli, and Jensen at Brentford.
Well, Nordsjælland's one of the best examples of the, I hate to use the word, but the Moneyball philosophy and the statistical-based approach on acquiring players. And I've seen them, you know, they're more of a Europa League side than a Champions League side, but a great development side that so many good players have come from, Norgellan.
It's only small, diminutive. I don't know what he is, 5, maybe 5, 6 or something. Pretty.
Yeah.
There's Spalletti sitting down.
He's enjoying his watching brief. The 63-year-old Luciano Spalletti.
He looks well.
He does look.
Despite his broken collarbone, I believe.
Won the Coppa Italia with Roma a couple of times. Won the Russian Premier League as well with Zenit when he was coached there. About a decade ago, I think, was his last win of a title in the Russian Premier League. Overhit pass from Liverpool through midfield, straight through to the keeper. There's a bit of dew on the surface of the pitch. You can see it's quite slick, the passing surface, so the passing does have to be right.
And I think it's been off from Liverpool. It's been right from Napoli. As I said, I think they're used to it, but certainly from Liverpool it hasn't been. And they're so confident playing out from the back again. The centre-halves receiving it, not afraid for Liverpool to come onto them and really stretch the pitch, open up the spaces.
But they have passed the ball straight to Fabinho in the centre of the Napoli half with this latest clearance. 8 to half-time, 2-0 Napoli. Robertson with a cross into the box. It loops up, it's headed away by Ramani. Kvaratskhelia tries to get a piece of it, and Zielinski drives away down the left-hand side in his own half. Tries to give it to Oliveira, and Oliveira's conceded the throw. It was a good challenge from Harvey Elliott, and I guess Jurgen Klopp would just want to get to half-time, maybe with things no worse than they are now.
They haven't got the pace, Liverpool, at the back to keep up with, the fleet-footed Osimhen and Zielinski, Kvaratskhelia. They don't have the speed.
Well, here's James Milner for Liverpool. One of the 3 changes made by Jurgen Klopp from the Everton 0-0 at the weekend. But he's dispossessed by a combination of Ramani and Anguissa, who scored the second goal. Clearance away from Napoli, goes straight to Van Dijk, and Firmino, left-hand side of the area. What can he conjure up here for Liverpool? Looks for Elliott, brings it down inside the D with his back to goal. Feeds it to Alexander-Arnold, the shot is blocked on its way to goal by Kim. And Elliott looks to recycle it back into the box, headed away by Di Lorenzo this time. They're getting players back and they're defending well. Oh, Anguissa, another lovely pirouette spin before he's taken down by Fabinho. He's had a great first half.
He looks a level above at the minute, Anguissa, I've got to say, every time the ball has come to him in a tight little area, middle of the park, players everywhere. That's a terrific little 180 skill to get out of trouble. Scored his goal as well, slotted it past Alisson with his left foot at the near post. Great composure.
He never failed to impress me when I saw him play for Fulham.
No.
I mean, maybe I missed some bad performances because based on what I saw of Anguissa,
that's all you can say though, right? What you saw.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, I would have expected him to be talked about more than he was.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess it's like if you're a fan of a football club, you see these players week in, week out, right? Yeah. And it's difficult. We might see them once every couple of weeks or once a month.
Well, he's been one of the star attractions in the blue shirts of Napoli in this first half. Liverpool, though, trying to attack and get something back before half-time. Salah with a cross from the right, this turn behind by Ramani for another Liverpool corner on the right-hand side. 2-0 Napoli.
Yeah, they've had a few of these, and they look like they might have a chance at these set pieces because Napoli defend really, really deep close to the goal from any sort of wide free kick. Corners come in and Merritt doesn't really want to catch anything, he wants to punch. But this is a worry for them. Osimhen, who's been struggling to be fit for this game.
He had a muscle injury and he's holding his right thigh, his hamstring.
He's just giving the motion, the 2 hands together and a little pull apart, the tug. Something's gone here.
So he's lying flat on his back, so the corner will have to wait for Liverpool.
He's had a lot of injury. He's had a lot of football last year as well.
Yeah. Well, he's been one of the tormentors in chief for Napoli going forward this evening, but it looks like his race is run, and Luciano Spalletti is going to have to make a change before we get to half-time. And it was just a run forward where he just pulled up in a race with Joe Gomez for the ball, and a grimace as he turned away. And he knew his race was run. Yeah, it's right hamstring. I mean, he was a doubt for this game anyway, but I think because of the magnitude of it and getting off to a good start, he's probably done more in 40 minutes than most players would in 90. I mean, he has put Liverpool on the absolute back foot here. But here comes the famous name. Giovanni may not be the famous name. Simeone is, though. Son of Diego Simeone, the Atletico Madrid coach. And Simeone, 27, he's on loan from Hellas Verona elsewhere in Serie A. This is his third appearance, and he's on for Osimhen as the corner comes in and it ricochets off Van Dijk, who didn't know much about it, and dribbled towards goal, but it was a comfortable claim low down in the end by Merritt. 2-0 to Napoli, and we've got about 3 minutes plus added time until the break on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, it's another chance though from the corner. As we said, they hadn't defended them well. Napoli just fell at the feet of Van Dijk, didn't know too much about it, and just bounced off his foot. They'll certainly, Van Dijk and Gomez will be so relieved Osimhen is off.
Di Lorenzo and Politano trying to combine down the Napoli right. Ball goes forward. Salah furthest forward for Liverpool. Headed out only as far as Luis Diaz. Left hand corner of the box trying to twist and turn away from Kim. And Kim puts it behind. It's yet another corner. I make that 6 corners in this first half to Liverpool. Can they make one count right at the end of the half? 2-0 down as they are to Napoli here.
Yeah, good defending. Lovely bit of skill there from Politano. Let the ball run through his legs. Going back to Kim. Super sign. Not bad when you get rid of Koulibaly and bring in Kim for, you know, a third of the cost. Great signing from Fenerbahce.
And he spent 1 year in the Turkish Super League before Napoli picked him up. Corner for Liverpool, swung in by Robertson. Up goes Van Dijk, but it was above his head. Kvaratskhelia looks to bring it away. There's a counter-attack on. It's slightly overhit. Out comes Alisson to the midway point of his own half to get there ahead of Simeone. And Alisson's lob back into the Napoli half was straight to Anguissa. But now there's space for Robertson down the left-hand side. Early cross into the edge of the box. Rahmani with a very cool header clear. And Kvaratskhelia sends it over the back of his head.
Wasn't on, Ian, was it? It wasn't on from Robertson to play that early cross. It was Mo Salah 1v4, and Salah was right out the far back stick. There was no way that ball was going to reach him.
Napoli just playing it ball around at the back. Club Brugge lead by Leverkusen by a goal to 0 in Bruges. Abakassia with the opener for the Belgian side. 2 minutes to half time. Not a pleasant scoreline for Liverpool fans listening to TalkSport 2 tonight in the Champions League. Napoli 2, Liverpool 0. A penalty early on from Piotr Zielinski, and then a second from the former Fulham man Frank Anguissa, and also another missed penalty from Osimhen, who's since gone off with a hamstring strain.
Oh, Lobotka just won possession again. I mean, he's been brilliant in the middle of it. Him and Anguissa, those two.
It's a great. And another little Bergkamp style turn from Anguissa, gets the ole from the crowd as he bamboozles Firmino. Now it's Kvaratskhelia out on the left hand side, takes the ball round Alexander-Arnold like he's not there, tries to send the cross in, he's still got it. Simeone, 3-0. Oh my goodness, Diego Simeone's son has put Napoli 3-0 up right on half time, and Jurgen Klopp must wonder where this performance has come from. Liverpool at the back have been at 6s and 7s. Kvaratskhelia again, the tormentor down the left-hand side, and Giovanni Simeone gets his first goal for Napoli against Liverpool. Approaching half-time, it's going horribly wrong for Klopp and co. Napoli 3, Liverpool 0.
Well, they are absolutely all over the place. It starts with Anguissa in the middle of the park, gets it out wide of Kvaratskhelia, knocks it one way round Trent. Alexander goes round the other. Trent just gives up, basically. Kvaratskhelia gets to the byline. Joe Gomez comes across. He's far too strong, and he wants it more. Kvaratskhelia takes it past Gomez right on the end line, just shrugs him off, and then just rifles the ball across the box. And there's Simeone to score with a little tap in. Superb from Kvaratskhelia, but he's gone past Trent Alexander and Joe Gomez far too easily. I mean, dreadful defending from the two Liverpool players on that side. Both are absolutely fuming.
But the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona is bouncing as we head into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half.
What did I say? Yesterday PSG had 2 goals. So could Napoli get a third? They've got the third before half-time. That could be it.
That's exactly what you said, David, not 5 minutes ago in commentary.
So important, that third goal.
And all 3 goals eminently avoidable from the Liverpool point of view.
Yeah, I mean, they've been dreadful this first one. And once you're on top, you've got to make sure you capitalise. They've done that.
And Lobotka just won a free kick after another very confident turn outside his own penalty area. He just got caught, but he looks like you're never going to get the ball off him in a month of Sundays.
He's class. He really is. Known about him for a long time. You know, when I was working in recruitment, looked at him at North Zealand, and you know, it was a bit too pricey at the time, but obviously went to Celta, done really well, like Matthijs Jensen, and now at Napoli.
Well, here he is again, just in between the two centre-halves, Lobotka. Works up to Zielinski, now Ramani. Looking to this near touch line for Di Lorenzo. Anguissa there to help him out. Some of the 1 and 2 touch passing from Napoli has been an absolute delight. They've just won a free kick as Simeone is felled just shy of the halfway line. The confidence searing through the veins of these Napoli players is there for me and David Connolly to see, and for you to hear on TalkSport too.
I mean, Kvaratskhelia just shrugged off Joe Gomez, and then Virgil van Dijk just lost Simeone, had no idea really where he was, and just tapped it in a couple of yards out. I mean, I tell you, it's a good job they committed the foul there, Joe Gomez, because they didn't. They were absolutely bare at the back.
There goes the half-time whistle. A truly dreadful half for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool as they attempt to go deep in the Champions League once again. But for Napoli, it's been an absolutely sensational 45 minutes for Luciano Spalletti, whose team went ahead on 5 minutes after James Milner adjudged to have handled Zielinski's shot inside the area. Penalty given, and that penalty was sent into the back of the net by Zielinski. They then missed the chance to go 2-0 up from the penalty spot again. Osimhen fouled by Van Dijk. He couldn't get the second goal, but the second did duly arrive from the former Fulham man, Frank-Andre Anguissa, after brilliant work between him and Zielinski at the edge of the area for 2-0, and then 3-0 right on half-time. Giovanni Simeone, son of Diego Simeone, couldn't miss right in front of goal after sensational work from the young Georgian Kvaratskhelia on the left-hand side. A particularly tough half for Liverpool's defence. Gomez and Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk all under major pressure, and that pressure told from Napoli, David Connolly, time and time again in that first half.
Yeah, they were outstanding. Started that game so well, obviously scored after a few minutes, and look, missed the penalty, had another one cleared off the line. It's 3-0, could have been 5-0. You know, that would be the only solace you would say for Liverpool. It could be even worse.
And looking at the stats at the end of that first half, you know, Liverpool had a slightly more of a share of the ball, possession-wise. 7 corners to 1 for Napoli. But when it came to chances, Napoli had 7 big chances.
Do you know, I feel
and converted and missed 4 of them.
Do you know, I feel like I've done my homework more on Napoli than Liverpool have. Well, in all honesty, I mean, all the threats that we have spoke about pre-game, it's almost like Liverpool have either taken them for granted, or, which I don't think they have. They obviously do all their homework on it, but they've been far too casual. Joe Gomez taking far too long. Does he not know about Osimhen and that? What a threat he is. You only have to go and look back at all his previous games. Kvaratskhelia, go and look at the games. They must have showed them what they were up against. They had to be absolutely at the top of their game here. They were far too casual to, you know, way off the pace.
They have been run ragged, Liverpool, in this first half, and my word, they have it all to do in the second half. Can they come back from 3-0 down? They've done it before in the Champions League. They've done it in a Champions League final, no less, against Italian opposition. But tonight, in the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, they're having a wretched evening so far. At the break, live on TalkSport 2, it's Napoli 3, Liverpool 0. Joel Matip is coming on at the start of the second half for Joe Gomez, and David Connolly did mention that might be a potential for Jurgen Klopp to do, and Joe Gomez has paid for a first half performance where he's been run ragged by the likes of Zielinski and Anguissa, and particularly Kvaratskhelia on the Napoli left. So that is the one change that has been made at the break. Matip on, Gomez off. No further changes for Napoli, who did have to change their striker after Osimhen went off with a hamstring problem, but replaced by a man who scored the third goal anyway, in Giovanni Simeone. And Liverpool, who've got 5 or 6 on the halfway line ready for their kick-off, they're going to try and do what Napoli did at the start of the first half. Liverpool all in red. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute. In fact, I'll do that now because the ball's gone straight out of play for a throw. It's now Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson at the back. Elliott, Fabinho, Milner in midfield. Salah, Firmino, Diaz up top. And away comes Luis Diaz down the left-hand side, up against Rahmani. Has to drag it past Rahmani towards the corner flag. Oh, squeezed it infield well. Kept in play by Firmino, and he's won a corner off Anguissa. Early chance for Liverpool to apply pressure at the start of this second half. 3-0 down.
Yeah, that's a good start. You know, certainly just forcing Napoli back from the kick-off. You know, a little deep ball into the corner, and Diaz done well in the end.
Robertson with this resulting corner for Liverpool to around the penalty spot. Headed goalwards, straight at Matip, and he headed it straight to the goalkeeper, who held on to it well, Merritt. But an early chance for the man who's just come on as a substitute, but the header down was comfortably saved by Alex Merritt in the Napoli goal. 3-0.
It's another free header though. You've got to say, every corner they put in the box, you know, they've looked vulnerable.
And now here come Napoli with Simeone, looks for Zielinski. Brilliant save, Alisson, but Zielinski on the follow-up. Oh my goodness, 4-0 to Napoli. Liverpool are falling apart. They make a substitution at half-time at the back, and they promptly go 4-0 down within 90 seconds of the restart. Zielinski with his second of the night. The first attempt blocked by Alisson, but he was able just to flick it past Alisson and into the back of the net. Napoli are running riot, and Liverpool do not know how to stop them. Napoli 4, Liverpool 0.
Well, we saw this with a penalty. I know they missed it, but it came from a ball, an early ball over the top. That's exactly the same here. Ball just lifted over the head of Virgil van Dijk. Matip comes across. It just means that Zielinski's a little bit spare. Trent has to come over from fullback, try and pick him up. He's a little bit late. His first finish is saved by Alisson, but on the rebound, a lovely little dink over Alisson. And you've got to say, I mean, it's just brilliant play from Napoli. They have not been afraid whatsoever. The ball, any sort of square ball, middle third, spinning it round the corner, just turning Liverpool and just making them run back towards their own goal. And I mean, they've certainly had their tactics and their game plan. You can see it from the off here. It's worked brilliantly.
Not 30 seconds after Joel Matip had a free header that we were talking about from that corner.
Yeah.
Suddenly Napoli just launched the ball downfield, and Simeone, having scored one, sets up another. What an introduction for the substitute.
I mean, they would have looked at all the games, seen the high Liverpool line. Maybe in the Premier League they're not spinning the ball like we saw Newcastle do that with Isaac quite a few times, you know, turning Liverpool, making them run back towards their own goal, not as quick. You know, Napoli's front part of the pitch is really rapid, and you know, they've got players, once you leave it in there, a bit of quality like Anguissa did, as we saw in the first half. I mean, they've got players that will finish.
Oh, what a ball from Kim forward, but it was a poor touch from Di Lorenzo. And now forward comes Luis Diaz. Gets one back for Liverpool. Lovely finish, Luis Diaz. Got it onto his right foot, left-hand corner of the box, stroked it home, and Liverpool have one back in Naples. Maybe too little, too late, but it's 4-1 to Napoli.
Well, it's almost a carbon copy of his one against Palace, drifting in off that left-hand side, bending it into the far corner. This one just has a little bounce as it just drops in by the post. Starts with a giveaway from Napoli with that sort of big switch of play they tried. Ball cut out and the Liverpool broke. Really good finish from Diaz. You know, he's always trying to do that on that left-hand side. Just get it onto his right and curl it into that far corner. Really good finish.
Well, he scored 4 in the Champions League last season for 2 clubs, Porto and Liverpool. Opens his account tonight. And Liverpool want that to be more than just a consolation goal. 4 minutes gone in the second half, and 2 goals since the restart. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1.
Well, that 1-0, we said there was a lot of goals in this game, but I didn't really
you weren't wrong, were you, David? Goodness me. You said that, not me.
Well, because you could just tell how the game started, so open, and once a team goes to press high, as Napoli did, it wasn't like, say, as I said at the time when Man United are playing Liverpool, they're not going to risk the ball playing out. Napoli were going to risk the ball playing out. Liverpool weren't going to sit off, they were going to go and press high. It meant the game was so open from the first few minutes, and when you've got players on the pitch like this, it's not going to be 0-0. It's going to end up being a high-scoring game.
And maybe more to come, who knows? 4-1, 5 minutes gone in the second half. Napoli were 4-0 up within 90 seconds of the restart. Diaz, who's just got that goal back for Jurgen Klopp's men. The ball's worked back to Alisson, who really can't be blamed for any of the 4 goals that Liverpool have conceded so far tonight. He did his best to save that effort from Zielinski. He just was quicker to the rebound than anybody else just now.
I mean, you might say could he have palmed it, more to the side, but that's just kind of picking holes. He did have the penalty save as well.
Elliott now for Liverpool. Finds Salah on the near side, the Liverpool right. Alexander-Arnold with a diagonal ball into the box, looking for Andrew Robertson, who dashes out to the left-hand side of the box, kicks it away from Politano. Now Diaz again at the edge of the area, making space for another shot over the bar this time from Luis Diaz. Couldn't keep it down. He claims it's a corner, not been given, it's a goal kick. But Luis Diaz in an almost identical position from where he got that goal back. Skies another effort.
He just got under it ever so slightly. He's really unlucky. Superb play again from Diaz, who's in that little pocket. Once he's got Robertson on the outside, Diaz comes on the inside in that sort of inside channel, left-hand side of the box, and he's always looking to shoot. That one was unlucky.
Well, it's a very high press from Liverpool to try and unsettle Napoli at the back, but as they've done a number of times tonight, they get the ball half clear, but then lose out. Headed away by Lobotka, but picked up by Alexander-Arnold, feeds it down the right-hand side for Harvey Elliott. Elliott nicks the ball back in field to Alexander-Arnold. Midway point of the Napoli half. Now it goes back to Matip. 15 yards inside the Napoli half. Stroked out to the near side, the Liverpool right. Alexander-Arnold once again. Napoli have everybody behind the ball as Matip has it once again on halfway. Squares it for Van Dijk. Robertson. Milner started making a run inside left channel, but hasn't been used. It's still at the back for Liverpool with Joel Matip. Tries to play a ball through the middle for Milner, intercepted by Anguissa. And here come Napoli down the inside right channel with Anguissa. Feeds it out to Politano on the right wing. He just gives it back to Anguissa, who just held his run. And he just calmly passes it back to halfway. And Rahmani plays a diagonal ball looking for Oliveira, but Kvaratskhelia takes over, nicks the ball away from Alexander-Arnold into the box, tricks himself in the end, Kvaratskhelia, and Matip brings it away.
Well, I think Trent cannot wait to see the back of Kvaratskhelia.
Out comes the goalkeeper, Medic, meantime, as Liverpool just hit long ball downfield.
I mean, it's the second time he's knocked it one way round Trent and ran round the other. I mean, Trent is not going to catch him. He is really quick, and he's a tricky customer too.
He's enjoying himself out there, Kvaratskhelia. I don't think you can say Trent Alexander-Arnold's enjoying his evening too much. Out to the left-hand side. Here's Robertson for Liverpool. Left-hand corner of the box. Deflection on the cross actually made it easier for the keeper. Salah was homing in at the far post, but Medic could plunge onto the ball at the edge of his 6-yard area. 4-1 to Napoli. 8 minutes gone in the second half.
I mean, how do you defend against a player like that? This is what you'd hope is getting into Trent on the training ground, because a couple of times you look at some of the goals, he gets too tight, he dives in. If he's not quick enough, which he isn't, then sometimes he's just got to stand off.
Now Salah, right-hand side of the box, tries to out-muscle Oliveira. He's won a corner off Kim in the end. That was good strength from Mo Salah, and Liverpool have another corner. They're on the verge of double figures for corners in this game.
Well, they've got to make one of these count, because every time they've had a free header or a contact on it, a first contact on it.
Well, as you said, they've won most things header-wise in the box. Joel Matip with that early header in this second half. Here's Alexander-Arnold's corner. It's headed out by a Napoli player this time. It was Simeone back defending. Robertson, slightly weak, driven pass back towards the edge of the area. Picked up by Kvaratskhelia, and away comes Anguissa. He's trying to release Simeone through the middle, but the ball was intercepted by Milner, and it was offside against Simeone anyway. And so very quick free kick taken by Liverpool.
They just look a bit vulnerable on the sort of corner against on the counter attack. Liverpool too on those corners.
But the game's going to be stretched because Liverpool aren't giving up at 4-1 down. Here's Fabinho, finds Firmino. Back it goes to Milner, just ahead of the centre circle. Van Dijk there with him, just puts his foot on the ball, looks for an option and elects to square it to Matip. Matip finds Luis Diaz, clips it out to the right wing where Harvey Elliott waits. Little ball to the outside of his boot to the far post. Milner tried to head it back across the face of goal, but Di Lorenzo and Politano between them trying to get the ball clear, and Politano wins the throw off Luis Diaz down by the corner flag. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1, 10 minutes to the second half gone on TalkSport 2.
Politano did well, didn't he, just to make sure he got his side of throw. Going back to that ball in from Harvey Elliott, it's a hard skill that. I mean, he's out on the right-hand side, ball comes in, his control is straight down in front of his feet, so it's not to the side, so he can't put a curler in, so he's gone with the outside of his boot and sort of half volley cross. Difficult, really difficult skill, went quite far out the back post, and difficult to kind of score from there or even get a contact on it.
That's David Connolly alongside me, Ian Danter, here on TalkSport 2. Liverpool coming forward again. Salah lays it off to Diaz. Robertson will seize on the loose ball down the left-hand side of the box. Deep ball to the far post. It's headed away by Oliveira. Kept away from Alexander-Arnold. And here he comes again, the Georgian wonder kid. Kvaratskhelia barrelling down the left channel for Napoli. Into the Liverpool box. Tries to hit a right-footed shot and it's blocked by Fabinho. And then Elliott is pulled over by Kvaratskhelia, who looks full of running.
He's so quick. I mean, he just eats up the ground. There is no way anyone. I mean, Trent Alexander didn't even try to catch him. Joe Gomez hasn't got a chance. They just back off and back off. I just hope they can get a block on in around the box, and that's what happened there. Actually, Simeone could have had the ball. Got to say, he was screaming at Kvaratskhelia just to put it into the box, but a little bit greedy there from the Georgian.
Well, we're approaching the hour mark and there's a double change being made, and Kvaratskhelia, that was his last involvement in the game, taken off at 4-1, and Alessio Zerbin, who's back from a loan at Frosinone in Italy last season, he comes on, and the other change, Matteo Politano, is being withdrawn, and a man who was something of a doubt for this game, whether he'd be in the squad at all, the Mexican Herving Lozano, joined from PSV a couple of years ago. He's coming on for a second Napoli change at 4-1 up, don't forget.
Yeah, I think the two wide men, kind of sensible changes really. They both had superb games. Just under an hour really, damage done.
So Zerbin and Lozano on, Kvaratskhelia and Politano off. So the pronunciation police can't get on my back anymore from this point on. I was having nightmares in my sleep last night thinking about that name. I was just going to call him the little Georgian fella up top, but he's not even small. Now,
well, he's been on the ball so much, you've had to say his name so often, and you've actually got it down.
Yeah, it's good practice.
You've got it, absolutely, you've got it perfect now. Till the next time you commentate on him, you've probably forgotten.
More than likely. Alexander-Arnold looks to float the ball down the right-hand side. It's out of play. But one thing that has happened in this second half, David Conley, is that some of Napoli's passing inside their own half has been a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
And Liverpool have been able to at least mount a few more counter-attacks when Napoli have got a few too many men up the field.
I tell you what, they've expended so much energy in terms of how they've started this game. Well, you know, the first hour, Napoli, you know, to get that 3-goal lead at half-time, you know, they might pay the price in this second half. Maybe that's why he's made a double change on fresh legs, fresh energy on the pitch.
Handball by Harvey Elliott as the ball was attempted to be flicked infield by Oliveira to the back with Rahmani and Gisa, and again Lobotka, despite having Mo Salah right on his tail, seemed to have all the time in the world to guide it back to his goalkeeper.
He just drops in, follows the ball, doesn't he? You know, if the ball's with the goal, he drops in between the two centre-halves, it goes to the full-back, he comes across and shows, always involved.
He always shows, you're right, he never hides, does he?
No.
Very clever player, Lobotka. Now, Zerbin lost the ball over the top, and Simeone tries to get involved. Lozano's now two edge of the D, a wild shot at the edge of the D, way over the bar from Herving Lozano, but as you rightly said, David Connolly, they brought on two wide players who are just as industrious in Lozano and Zerbin as Kvaratskhelia and Politano have been tonight.
Well, I thought he looked offside there, but the flag didn't go up. But yeah, Chucky Lozano, he's a real threat, loves to attack in the wide areas, and you know, that is certainly where they do a lot of damage, Napoli.
Approaching the hour mark on TalkSport 2. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. If you're just switching on your radio, it's not a joke, that is the scoreline. Napoli have been so dominant in many facets. Liverpool have had 9 corners and have had more possession than their hosts, but they've not had the big chances, and Napoli could have scored more than the 4 that they have.
Absolutely. The 4-1 doesn't quite tell the tale. I mean, they've had a penalty saved, they've had one cleared off the line,
and here they come again with Anguissa trying to feed the ball through to Simeone. Just can't control the ball. Enough of a touch from Van Dijk and Liverpool bring it clear. Real sense of urgency about Liverpool. They've got some changes ready on the touchline of Liverpool. More on that in a moment, because here's Alexander-Arnold trying to put the ball into the box. Hits it straight against Oliveira and out of play for a throw to Jurgen Klopp's men. The subs won't be made yet because Alexander-Arnold has taken the throw quickly. Back for Fabinho, and now Matip in the centre of the Napoli half. Plays it short to Elliott, right-hand corner of the area. Looks to drive down that left-hand side of the box, but Zerbian back doing his defending. Only clears as far as Alexander-Arnold. Crossing and headed goalwards by Diaz. Fantastic save by Merritt. Flying header around the penalty spot from Luis Diaz, who wanted a second on the night. But Merritt turns it over for a 10th Liverpool corner. 4-1 Napoli.
I'll tell you what, look at the power Diaz gets on this header. It is a bullet from in and around the penalty spot. It's right down the throat of Merritt, who just palms it over the bar. But I'll tell you what, he's got I mean, he's such a threat in the air, isn't he, Diaz?
Robertson with a corner for Liverpool. Did it go out before it came back in? That's what they're claiming, and that indeed is what the whistle has gone for. Liverpool players still playing on, but he put so much whip on that corner, Andrew Robertson, it went out of play before it swung back into play. So it's a goal kick to Napoli, and this may mean that the Liverpool substitutions can take place. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1 in the Champions League on TalkSport 2.
Double change as well.
And very attacking changes. In fact, it might be 3 changes being made. Certainly Milner is off. Darwin Núñez is coming on for Roberto Firmino. That's a fairly obvious change. Mo Salah has been taken off. How about that? How often does Salah get taken off when they're struggling in a game? He's gone off, and Jota has come on for him. Well, big changes from Jurgen Klopp. What effect will they have? They're 4-1 down, remember. Núñez and also Thiago Alcantara, who's been out for some time. He is back in. Played against Fulham at the start of the season, but he's on for James Milner. Triple change from Jurgen Klopp, and they've got just over a quarter of the game to go to try and get Liverpool back into this match day 1 tie. Diaz trying to get away from Di Lorenzo down the left-hand side, but that's a good interception by the Napoli fullback. Oh, Lobotka with another little spin to get away from Fabinho. Out to Lozano, tight to the right-hand touchline, but he couldn't spin away from Robertson, and it's a throw-in.
I mean, just wondering about taking Mo, he could have had a little ball in the box there, and instead the pass Hinchin was turned down just moments before he came off, and he looked really disconsolate. Have they got one eye now on the Wolves game, or do you think this is more, you're not quite in the same form? He's creating the chances, obviously, not maybe getting the... Well, he's creating the chances for others, maybe not getting the chances for himself, and tonight he's been on the periphery, and is this more than just maybe looking after him thinking, well, we've got Wolves Saturday, we need 3 points in that game, so,
Indeed, we are at Anfield on Saturday for TalkSport 2. Myself and Perry Groves will bring you full, exclusive national radio commentary of Liverpool against Wolves. That's a 3 o'clock kick-off as part of game day.
Because, my belief why Sadio Mane left is I think he was, at times, didn't feel quite the main man. He was taken off an awful lot, and Mo Salah was left on, and I guess
didn't feel like he had the love.
Yeah, is there any, you don't want to read too much into this, obviously, but
incidentally, it's still 0-0 between Spurs and Marseille, but the former Newcastle defender Chancellor Mbemba's been sent off early in the second half for Marseille, but it's still goalless. That's live on TalkSport right now with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. And of course, once all the Champions League action is done, you can speak to Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara on the sports bar from 10 o'clock on TalkSport. Liverpool fans, my word, you'll have things to say about this performance and result as it stands. 4-1 to Napoli with just over 25 minutes to go.
Well, you can hear Jurgen. I don't know if you just caught Jurgen Klopp as you were finishing your sentence there, Dan, but he was berating his team. So he's got the right-hand side in front of him, which was on the opposite side in the first half, obviously out of earshot, but he's giving them both volleys now.
Now away goes Luis Diaz down the left-hand side. He's caught by Romani. and goes down in a heap. Luis Diaz. Romani gets a yellow card for a strong challenge, and Liverpool have a free kick down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Leroy Sané, I think, has just doubled Bayern Munich's lead in Milan. Inter 0, Bayern Munich 2. But here on TalkSport 2, Liverpool trying desperately to get a foothold in this game in Naples. They're trailed by 4 goals to 1, but they have a free kick down the left-hand side of the box here, David Connolly.
Yeah, I mean, Diaz has been the most dangerous player, hasn't he, in this second half?
Yeah.
And if you look at these set-piece free-kick situations, look how deep that Napoli line is. It's inside the 6-yard box. This is where they've looked like they could get a goal.
Robertson and Alexander-Arnold standing over it. It's whipped in by Alexander-Arnold for too much width, too much height.
Well,
goes straight over for a goal kick, and that's not the first time he's done that tonight.
No. I mean, they won't get goals with delivery like that. We saw it in the first half, and disappointing, really disappointing.
Alexander-Arnold, his first goal for Liverpool was that wicked free kick in the Champions League against Hoffenheim.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got a brilliant one against Bournemouth as well, but just that is a simple set-piece situation. When the defence is so deep as they are, obviously that's their style. They like to defend that deep, you know, but it just means you just got to put the ball in, you know, a couple of yards out, and you've got a great chance of scoring.
Napoli 4, Liverpool 1, a quarter of the game to go on TalkSport 2. One back by Thiago down the left-hand side. Out to that far touchline where Nunez gets a touch. Fabinho works it back to the halfway line. So the attacking options are there for Liverpool still, with Nunez and Jota on. And here is Thiago floating the ball from inside left to inside right for Harvey Elliott. Gets it back after a quick 1-2 with Alexander-Arnold. Fabinho immediately pressurised by Lobotka. Back it goes to Matip on the halfway line. Ball along the net, lovely little over from Jota, but Diaz just couldn't turn and hair after the ball quick enough, and it's straight through to the keeper. Stays 4-1 to Napoli.
Yeah, it's the right idea. Well, wouldn't say right idea, nice idea from Jota. The only thing is Diaz didn't really read it, and because it was a straight pass, there was no angle on the ball, so it was always going to run straight through or towards the goalkeeper.
Ball hit long downfield and a chance for Nunez. It's blocked from the edge of the area, comes back into the Napoli box, cleared away by Oliveira. And they are still having some moments, Liverpool coming forward, but Simeone sends the ball out to the right-hand side. Lozano in possession, up against Van Dijk, drives it into the area, but it's a comfortable save low down for Alisson. 4-1 Napoli.
Oh, I mean, wrong choice there from Lozano. He's got to look up a lot earlier. Simeone was in, and the game is so stretched now.
Throw into Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp hands the ball to Harvey Elliott as the ball drifted out of play. Elliott on the halfway line plays the ball backwards to square to Fabinho. Now Thiago back for Fabinho once more. Alexander-Arnold looks up on halfway, thought about floating the ball downfield, but just plays a quick 1-2 with Elliott. It's been left for first Fabinho and then Matip once more. They're looking for that killer pass, Liverpool. Now it's sent forward for a touch from Nunez. Worked out to the left-hand side, and Robertson. Thiago infield, centre of the Napoli half. Plays it a little bit backwards to square to Matip. Matip works it out to the right wing, the near side, and Elliott, lovely ball down the right-hand side of the box. Nunez, great first touch, but then the second touch, he seemed to turn into the defender when he could have moved away from him, and Napoli try and get it clear.
Oh, his first part was brilliant, wasn't it? The ducking field. He didn't actually then need to go back on the outside. He'd already done it, and he was on the ground, Jim, so just not quite going their way.
Just over 20 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. It is 4-1 to Napoli. Salah and Firmino substituted in the second half for Nunez and Jota as Jurgen Klopp desperately tries to find a balance and blend that can give Liverpool some hope in this game.
Oh, lovely skill from Lozano.
And he's floated the ball out to Zerbin on this left-hand side. Zerbin running towards the Liverpool penalty area. Got Matip backpedaling. Tries to go on the outside of him. He's held up for a moment, Zerbin. Leaves it to Oliveira. Now Lozano trying to make room at the edge of the area for a shot. Dribbles wide for a Liverpool goal kick, but more attacking intent from the home side.
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's not as if they're sitting back. They're about 5 or 6 players in the box here, Napoli, as they break. Zielinski, Lozano, and I think there'll be certainly another goal or two.
There's a few goals in Barcelona tonight as well, and a hat-trick for Robert Lewandowski against Victoria Plzeň. It's 4-1 to Barca at the Nou Camp. 4-1 here too to Napoli with 20 minutes to go. And if Diego Armando Maradona was here to watch this, he would be lapping this up. As an English club side, have been embarrassed in this stadium. What have Liverpool got left in these last 20 minutes? Can they just put the frighteners on Napoli a little bit with a goal now to set up a grandstand final quarter of this game? Alexander-Arnold finds Diogo Jota. Alexander-Arnold again, right-hand side, midway point of the Napoli half. Wins a throw, which is taken quickly. Elliott works it infield to Fabinho. Now Harvey Elliott once again. Couldn't find a through ball, so he's given it to Fabinho. Loose ball from Fabinho, but it did work its way through to Robertson on the far side of Liverpool left. Now it's back with Matip on halfway, but under pressure from Zerbin. He just goes back for his keeper, Alisson. 4-1 it stays.
Well, he had a little look at the ground there, didn't he, Fabinho? We mentioned the pitch, whether that has had anything to... I mean, not on the result, but, you know, it's not... I don't think it looks the best, to be honest. It looks all right. A bit bobbly in patches.
Now, a long ball from Rahmani downfield, looking to release Simeone. Zerbin picks it up, just puts his foot on the ball, rolls it back to Zielinski and Gisa. Ball rolled infield for Lobotka. There's going to be a change or two for Napoli. Spalletti having a word with a couple of potential substitutes on the touchline. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, it's Di Lorenzo trying to get the better of Liverpool down the right-hand side, but Diaz skips away from one man, plays it up to the halfway line. Nunez going to have a run at Rahmani down the left-hand side. Diaz is in the area waiting for a cross, so too Jota, but Nunez couldn't get the better of Rahmani in the end, who brings the ball away and finds Anguissa. Anguissa looks early for Lozano, flag stays down. Lozano just running at Van Dijk, who's backpedaling quite slowly. Lozano gets towards the edge of the area, finds Zerbin. Zerbin has got plenty of red shirts around him, but he still finds Lozano, and then Simeone is offside, and Liverpool get a free kick and clear their lines. 4-1 down Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, Virgil van Dijk thinks that Lozano is offside a little bit earlier, and he is. I mean, he's clearly in Liverpool's half. I mean, that's a yard offside.
Well, we have semi-automated offsides now in the Champions League, so that would have probably been flagged up to the referee before the second offside was given. 17 minutes to go. Liverpool 4-1 down, but coming forward with Thiago. Robertson, left-hand corner of the area, tries to tease the ball into the box, but it's blocked by the first defender. Anywhere will do for Napoli now. They're getting a bit more ragged.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but look, they're making another couple of changes. These two players, Elmas and Rui, there, two top players coming on as well.
Yeah, players coming off. Matias Oliveira is coming off for Mario Rui, wearing number 6, and the other change we'll see Elif Elmas, the North Macedonian. He's going to come on as well for Zielinski, who's put in one heck of a shift, as so many have in Napoli blue this evening.
I mean, Elmas scored the other week against Lecce, really good goal. I mean, Jurgen Klopp referenced Zielinski in terms of all the players that are left, but Zielinski is still there and still showing his quality as he did tonight.
4-1 to Napoli, but here come Liverpool again, 16 to go. Diaz trying to, Thiago trying to throw it through for Nunez, left-hand corner of the box, clips it into the area, but it's gone over the head of Jota, and it's just allowed to bounce behind for a Napoli goal kick. Barcelona have a 5th against Victoria Plzeň, and it's Ferran Torres, once of Manchester City, who's got that 5th goal for Barca. And also, as we mentioned, Inter 0, Bayern Munich 2.
I tell you what as well, Ian, the Ajax game is going to be a toughie, right? I mean,
that's the next game for Liverpool at home at Anfield next midweek.
Look how they played today.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's getting much easier anytime soon in this Champions League group.
I wonder, penny for the thoughts of Bruno Lage as well, and the Wolves staff watching on about what they can do to Liverpool, whether they will go for it at Anfield on Saturday live on TalkSport 2. Tottenham Hotspur lead against 10-man Marseille, live on TalkSport. And Richarlison finally has a Tottenham goal. He was booked for taking his shirt off after he thought he'd scored on Saturday. The goal was chalked off for VAR, and of course he still got booked for taking his shirt off. You don't get rescinded for that.
I'll tell you what, his teammates love him though.
They do.
I was to Højbjerg after.
Yeah, he's quite the team player. Yeah. So he has his first Spurs goal.
I remember watching him one of his very first games for Watford. We did for TalkSport away at Bournemouth.
As the ball goes into the Napoli box for a good claim, under pressure from Nunez by Alex Merritt. You were saying about Richarlison?
Yeah, and I saw him, and he played wide, and I hadn't heard of Richarlison then, but I don't think many did, apart from he was a new signing. I'd say he was absolutely unplayable in the air, on the deck, and superb signing for Spurs.
Well, Merritt stayed down after he went up for the ball when Nunez was challenging. Nothing Nunez did wrong. Arthur was about to come on for Liverpool, and Harvey Elliott is being replaced. So Arthur, former Barca midfielder, on loan from Juve. There is an option for Liverpool to pick him up at the end of the season for around £30 million, I'm told.
Well, I critiqued Harvey Elliott a little while ago with that cross in the box, and since then he's had a couple of passes. You don't want to keep picking on him, but they haven't found an intended target. It's been a bit wasteful compared to the Thiagos since he's come on, and I think it was a change that was coming. And Arthur can probably manage sort of 15 odd minutes or whatever.
Well, Arthur, we were told by Jurgen Klopp in the pre-match press conference yesterday that there was no way he was going to play anything more than a small portion of this game.
Yeah.
As he's trying to work his way back to fitness. Incidentally, Merritt's still down. So Dries Mertens in the crowd, second of the game.
And a Napoli shirt.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Oh, that's nice to see. Yeah. Mertens, the Belgian, who served Napoli so well over such a long period of time. Merritt's back on his feet and will take the free kick eventually for Napoli inside his own penalty area. So a reminder, it's 4-1 to Napoli. More live football tomorrow night, live on TalkSport from the Europa League. FC Zurich against Arsenal at a 5:30 start. Alex Cook and Dean Ashton, your commentary team. Friday night, Burnley against Norwich in the Championship after the EFL show. Join us from 6 p.m. here on TalkSport 2 for a preview of all the weekend's EFL action, and then live commentary from Turf Moor. Should be a terrific match, that, with Norwich really picking up form. Josh Sargent amongst the goals, but the new look Burnley under Vincent Kompany, very entertaining listen that will be. And then Saturday game day, Fulham against Chelsea from 11 a.m. on TalkSport with Reshmin, Sam Matterface and Dean Ashton. We've got the Women's Super League back in action this weekend as well on TalkSport 2 at 12:30. Spurs against Manchester United and WSL. Joe Shannon and Leanne Sanderson, your commentary team. And then you can join me and Perry Groves at Anfield at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2 for Wolves' trip to this Liverpool side, who are still 4-1 down here to Napoli, and are running out of time to do anything about this pretty bleak-looking scoreline as the ball's headed back by Di Lorenzo to Alex Merritt. We've got just over 11 minutes to go, David Connolly, and it looks like the game is up.
Yeah.
Unless something dramatic happens.
I mean, they've come down obviously from these 3 goals before, but not with this amount of time left. I guess it'll be the inquest after, and certainly Jurgen Klopp will know that he'll be facing an awful lot of questions, especially with Thomas Tuchel just losing his job, and not the start they would have wanted to get off to in the Champions League, and considering the start they've got off to in the Premier League as well.
Well, they swept Bournemouth away by 9-0 for that joint record Premier League win. But Wolves will come to Anfield maybe with a sense of optimism, although of course they don't really have a striker. Sasa Kalajic did his ligaments on debut, so he is out for Wolves for some time, having just arrived. Trying to get Diego Costa, work permit problems there. Andy Carroll being linked with a move to Wolves. Surely he wouldn't come in and have his first game at his old club Anfield on Saturday. What a story that would be. I
mean, there's been so much wrong with this performance though tonight. If you want to, pick holes in how they've played.
There's very little positive you can say.
No, there really isn't. And defensively, you look at how they've been exposed, and it's going to be hard to work on bits and pieces like that on the training ground, because that'll take an awful lot of time, and for a lot of these players, they don't have that sort of time. I mean, the Joe Gomez and how he defended Trent Alexander against that pace and trickery of Kvaratskhelia. How he copes with him. We've seen him struggle. I mean, we saw him against Crystal Palace. He had a bit of a difficult time as well.
Yeah. Ball forward is easily intercepted by Kim, and a second for Richarlison. It's Tottenham 2, Marseille 0. What a night for the Brazilian. And that's 3 points in the bag for Antonio Conte in the Champions League. 3 points going begging for Liverpool here in Naples. 10 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. 4-1 down to Napoli. Back it goes to Alisson. And the game is really crawled down to a very slow pace. The urgency appears to be drifting out of Liverpool's game here.
Yeah, well, obviously the onus is on them now. Napoli just sitting in. When they do counter now, there's only one or two that are going compared to, in the first hour or so, they were flooding forward. Obviously no need to now.
Oh, well, one back by Simeone on halfway. Now Zerbin's been released for Napoli. Liverpool have only got 3 back. Simeone's got to the edge of the area. A weak shot with his left foot, and then headed back quite confidently by Matip to his keeper Alisson. 3-on-3 then for the moment, and then down goes a Liverpool player, just taken off the ball by Mario Rui. Ball works in field. Now brought on by Thiago, finds Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz up to the area. Alexander-Arnold making a run left-hand corner of the box, but the ball just wouldn't find its way through to find Alexander-Arnold, and it goes through to the goalkeeper.
I think it did find its way through just about to Jota, and he could have got hold of this, He could have actually brought the ball in and set it, because he had Luis Diaz just stand round the front of him. Instead he tried to do a bit of a tricky turn, and low chance of it coming off, and it went through to the goalie, and actually he could have just dealt with that a little bit of easier manner.
That's David Connolly, you can hear alongside me. Ian Danter here on TalkSport 2. Don't forget the NFL's back. We've got loads of commentaries for you on TalkSport 2 on the new American football season starting Friday morning at 1 a.m. Make sure you're with us for all the action in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams. That's from 1 a.m. Friday morning. 8 minutes to go. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1.
Right, why is Spalletti not wearing his arm brace? I thought he broke his collarbone. He had it on in the press conference.
Maybe it's the adrenaline coursing through his veins.
Is it because it could be perceived as a sign of weakness? So he's taking it. It doesn't add up that he's not wearing it, because he's had his arm hanging down. He doesn't look particularly comfortable out there, does he, on the sideline?
He didn't want a bear hug from Jurgen Klopp earlier. He might want one at the end of this. Meantime, here's Diaz trying to make tracks. Finds the ball to Artur, right-hand side of the area, and he's won a corner for Liverpool. But time is running out for Klopp's men. They've got 6.5 minutes to try and rescue this dreadful scoreline. They have a corner. It's 4-1 to Napoli.
How many corners have they had? You tell me. They've had so many in this game. Can they make one of them count?
They have had at least, this will be the 11th, I think. And it's Alexander-Arnold from the right-hand side. Sends the corner deep to the far post. Van Dijk nods it down, but it's headed away by Lozano. Comes out to Artur. Now Alexander-Arnold, left-footed ball. Again, deep to the far post. Van Dijk wanted to send it back across goal. Kept in play by Nunez. Jota there too. Runs into a challenge. It's half cleared by Napoli. Lozano being challenged by Fabinho. Lovely turn. And he finds Lobotka. And Lobotka has the ball taken off his toe. Liverpool have it back. Jota now trying to dart into the area. This time it's Di Lorenzo. Lovely skill from him. And Lozano can bring the ball down the far right-hand side for Napoli. Into the centre circle. It's picked up by Elmas, who's not had much involvement since coming on. Rui sends Zerbin away down the left-hand side. Mario Rui takes over. Elmas again gives the ball back to Lobotka. Now Anguissa. Well, they're just playing 1- and 2-touch football and just almost tormenting Liverpool with the ball inside the Liverpool half as Lobotka, actually over, it's a pass intended for Di Lorenzo. Throw into Liverpool, 5 to go, 4-1.
One thing that has sort of altered their style of play is the change in the wingers for Napoli and also the centre forward, because when Osimhen was on and they had Kvaratskhelia and Politano, when they were breaking, they were playing the ball really quickly, you know, and countering and being really efficient and not taking too many touches. Since the likes of Lozano's come on and Zerbin and Simeone, they've just taken that little bit too long in possession and on the ball. And actually, probably if they had their starting team out Napoli, I think they would have probably scored even more in the second half with better decision making with the players that started the game on the pitch.
Liverpool coming forward again, 4-1 down. It's Nunez down the left-hand side of the area, trying to make room for a shot maybe. There is no room. So he plays the ball square to Alexander-Arnold. Clips the ball into the box. Jota goes up with a header. So too does Rahmani to get it clear. Simeone with an acrobatic bicycle kick to try and get it towards the halfway line. And Gissa just beats Artur to the ball. It's 3-on-2. Zerbin coming forward now for Napoli. He's got Simeone on his outside. Zerbin goes for goal and it's straight to Alisson, who can pat it down and try and get it downfield for Liverpool. 4-1 Napoli.
Yeah, he's got to put Simeone in. I mean, there's a loose touch from Van Dijk. Then they counter 2v2. Zerbin not quite the pace of Kvaratskhelia, so he didn't really take on Matic 1v1, but in the end, I think he's just got to put it in. He's just got to give it to Simeone. He just pulled off Van Dijk on the right-hand side. Just slip him in.
Throwing down the near side for Liverpool. Touched in field by Fabinho. A bit of space for Artur now to drive forward. Options left and right. Robertson moving up on his left, level with the edge of the area. Left-hand corner of the box now, Robertson. Doesn't put the ball in, though. Has to go back to Van Dijk at the edge of the centre circle. And there were red shirts to hit inside the box. Now it's played across to Thiago Alcantara. Trent Alexander-Arnold gives it back to Thiago. Artur turns away from Lobotka. Well, 3 minutes to go. And Liverpool are up against the wall of blue shirts inside their own defensive third, saying they shall not pass. Ball's worked back to Thiago, trying to make that room, the angle for a flick pass through the middle. Might break here for Nunez with his back to goal. Beat it into Jota, just couldn't take the ball with him around the penalty spot, and a hurried clearance from Napoli out to the halfway line for a throw to Liverpool. 4-1.
Yeah, just couldn't quite make it stick there when it goes into the box. Well, they'll enjoy this. A couple of shots of the fans there, obviously, and you know, they've had the better of Liverpool, and that looks like it's going to continue, isn't it, down the years?
They have at least scored in Naples, which they've never done before tonight, through Luis Diaz, but that is the very smallest crumb of comfort for Jurgen Klopp, with 2 minutes to go of normal time in Naples. Napoli 4, Liverpool 1 on TalkSport 2. Ball up to the edge of the box. Jota lays it off to Artur, who had a shot from inside the D that was blocked, came back to him, worked out to the left-hand side. Fabinho plays the square pass to Matip. Whistles go up around the stadium, wanting the game to be over already. As here come Liverpool, Luis Diaz trying to make room for a shot, has to work it out to the right-hand side, and Alexander-Arnold, good cross, headed over the crossbar by Rahmani, and it'll be a corner kick to Liverpool, their 12th of the game.
Brilliant ball back in, this is from Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he's put in a little bit deeper, nonetheless really digs it out. Superb header though from Di Lorenzo at the back post to clear his lines.
Corner kick to Liverpool as we edge towards added time. Just about to go into the 90th minute. Zonal marking from Napoli. As in comes the corner from Robertson, up go the heads, he goes beyond everyone to Jota at the far post. His volley is blocked by Zerbin, and then a foul by Thiago, I think, means that Napoli have a free kick and can just take their time, work the ball downfield, knowing that we are edging towards added time, though it wasn't much of a contact on Simeone from Thiago. David Connolly to my left just chuckles at that free kick award.
Absolutely, barely touched Thiago.
4-1 to Napoli. Not many would have predicted that scoreline pre-match. But as you said, David Connolly, the moment we saw the teams lined up for kick-off, and Napoli had, 7 or 8 players lined up on the halfway line, ready
Statement of intent, yeah.
Full pelt into the Liverpool half, set the tone. for what was a frantic first half in particular. 3-0 to Napoli at half-time. They then got a fourth early in the second. Quick reply to that fourth goal from Luis Diaz, but it's nowhere near enough, and we're going into 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time at the end of the game. And Mario Rui has a throw in for Napoli onto the chest of Zerbin. Substitutes trying to combine. Artur puts the ball out of play. It's just merely another throw for Napoli, and more seconds to be eaten up. The roar that's going to go up at the full-time whistle is going to be pretty special from those inside this stadium.
Well, too, a lot of the players still on the pitch for Napoli, went on the pitch to do the damage, and that just shows you, how good this Napoli side is. They had the luxury or the misfortune, I guess, of Osimhen coming off. He was brilliant when he was on the pitch, and obviously the two wingers. So an awful lot of this Napoli side is not going to be there to receive the raptures.
Now here is Elmas inside the box, left-hand side, trying to juggle the ball away from Alexander-Arnold. He's got support from Zerbin on the near touchline. Doesn't use him, he's still rolling his foot on the ball and trying to get the better of Alexander-Arnold. Eventually runs out of room and the ball just dribbles onto the athletics track around the outside of the pitch. Goal kick to Liverpool, and we're in the second minute of time added on. 4-1 to Napoli. Don't forget you can get your calls in, Liverpool fans, to Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on the Sports Bar. 03717 223344 over on TalkSport. In the next 10 minutes or so, phone lines will be open for you to have your say on your team's performance, and you will have plenty to say, I'm sure, Liverpool fans, on what you've seen, particularly from Liverpool on the right side of their defence this evening. Joe Gomez had a torrid first half. Alexander-Arnold was given a very hard time by Kvaratskhelia as well, and here's Anguissa, who's been another of the strongest performers out there for Napoli tonight, and finds Lobotka. And if we were giving a man of the match award tonight, I'd be hard pressed to not give it to one of those two I've just mentioned there, David Connolly.
Yeah, you're right.
Anguissa or Lobotka.
Yeah, at the base of midfield, those two have been absolutely brilliant.
Anguissa again just spreads play to the right hand side, space for Di Lorenzo. Minute and a half of minimum stoppage time to be played. Lobotka on the halfway line just spins away from Thiago. Now looks to float a ball down the right hand side, asking Lozano to give chase, taking Robertson with him to about 10 yards from the corner flag. Robertson trying to hold him up. Lozano just calmly rolls it back to Anguissa, almost at the midway point of the half, and they're just keeping hold of it. Now to the right hand side, Lozano with a cross deflected. Going to be a late corner for Napoli at 4-1 up, and Liverpool concede a corner. They've had 12. This is only Napoli's second of the entire game.
Yeah, they've been less inclined to cross, that's why, and I doubt they'll put this one in the box either. I imagine they'll take it short.
Atletico Madrid lead late on at home to Porto in the Champions League. Mario Hermoso, short corner for Napoli. They're going to keep it at the corner flag. No, they roll it outside. Anguissa, right hand corner of the box. Heavy touch allows Thiago to get it half clear, but Anguissa wins it back. Elmas, now Lozano into the box, hits the ball against a Liverpool defender. Artur goes behind for another corner late on to Napoli as Spurs secure the 3 points. They've beaten Marseille by 2-0. Bayern Munich have beaten Inter by the same scoreline. Club Brugge have beaten by Leverkusen 1-0. And the full-time whistle goes, and a horrid night for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool in Naples. Torn apart by Napoli. 3-0 down at half-time. It was soon 4-0 early in the second half. Zielinski getting his second of the game. There was a riposte almost immediately from Liverpool as they scored their first ever goal in Naples through Luis Diaz, but by then it was far too late. A dreadful performance from Liverpool. You would not have expected this scoreline at the start of the night, but Napoli have ripped Liverpool apart, and the worst possible start to Liverpool's Champions League campaign finishes in Naples with a scoreline of Napoli 4, Liverpool 1. David Connolly.
Well, that is as low and as listless as I've seen Liverpool for a long, long time. They were blown away in that first 45. I mean, it was 3-0 at half-time. It could have easily been 5. Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold were just destroyed down that right-hand side of the pitch. It looked like they hadn't done their homework. Osman, who was up top, was outstanding for Napoli, but their tactics were brilliant. Napoli on the front foot, they were intense. They made the pitch really big. They played out from the back. They invited Liverpool on them. They made the pitch huge. The space is big. They turned Liverpool, made Van Dijk and Gomez run back towards their own goal. And far too often he said they were too casual, too careless, too casual in possession. The touching was off, their pass was off, the decision making, and they got what they deserved here, Liverpool, which was a thumping.